this now.
Yeah, but now you do. You do fire me.
Yes, so.
Definition of love from an African household or just generally?
Both.
You're in school, meaning they put you through education. They make sure you're in primary school and secondary school or whatever. They feed you and they clothe you. That to me is love from an African household. We've given you the best opportunity to be. There's one thing that me and my mum share, and I respect and love her more than anyone in this planet.
I can tell you categorically now, the boys in my life, all my boys that I categorize as my boys, if shit hits the fan, they'll have my back. They will go hella for me. I know that. And I will do the same for them. And that's why the circle you keep is so important.
But you've only learned this from...
I learned that by myself, bro. I didn't learn that. I'm not going to lie. I didn't learn that from my parents, not my mom, not my dad. Maybe there might be an influence and be like, oh, be careful where you go, who this. But I had to learn that for myself.
Would you have it any other way?
That's hindsight, isn't it?
It's hindsight.
Hindsight is a great thing, but you just never know.
Because I think if I was guided so much and, oh, don't smoke this weed, oh, don't lose your virginity. Like, I'll never forget one dumb talk my dad gave me about the birds and the bees. Like, there was a day me and him were going to church and a condom fell from my pocket. And I know he saw it. I think I was about 17. I was like, oh, shit, this guy's going to grill me. And I remember he gave me one silly talk. It was just talking. I was like, what are you talking about, bro? It was like, oh, in life, sometimes some people would jump off an aeroplane. They use their parachute. The parachute will work. And then they use it again. The parachute. I was like, mate, say what you want to say, bro. What's all this parachute talk? But you're not really say it. And I don't know, man. But yeah, hindsight is a bit. But personally, I've learned from my male friends.
Yep.
And from my experiences, like the amount of dumb shit I've done in my life, bro. Like I'm glad I've done it, and I don't have it at the back of my mind anymore. Like driving drunk, driving without a license, been arrested, never been charged, by the way. I've done so many...
Never been caught.
I've been caught.
Oh, okay.
I even tried to run away from the police once, bro. Yeah.
But anyway.
I've done so much dumbness that I think if I had guidance, I wouldn't have done it. But I'm also thinking I did it to learn because I won't do it now.
Experience is the best teacher.
Experience, bro. But I don't want to... I've always said it. I don't have kids yet. And I'm going to try my best to be extremely selective with who I choose to procreate with. But I don't want to give a child trauma. The child's going to get trauma irrespective. That's the law of human.
It shouldn't be from your household, in my opinion.
It shouldn't be, but I still think I won't say I don't trust myself. I might raise my voice one day. It might see me drunk or high one day.
You're a human being.
I'm a human, so there's going to be stuff that even...
But you need to be consciously be aware of what you are doing around your children.
Having children I don't think everyone should have children. It's a controversial
Not everyone's built to have a child.
I don't think everyone should have.
But children can change you. No, bro, I'm not going to lie. I don't know if I ever told you this. So there was a time when...
What do you mean can change you? If you're a dickhead before you have kids, don't mean you won't be a dickhead after you have kids.
No, let me give you an example.
Now that you have...
Okay, let me give it... No, it will change your ways of life and how you see life.
But I don't want to use a child as my correction tool.
You shouldn't, and you probably won't. But when you do have kids, it does change your perception of life.
I agree.
And that's where I'm going with it. Because before I had kids, like I said, I was a hothead. Everyone, I'll get angry on a football page. I had my twins, right?
Top striker, bro. First time, top bins, yeah? Man
don't miss, innit?
You coded in there, yeah?
When they're like Beckham, you know what I mean?
First shot, yeah?
And it's like, we went to play football in Stratford, 7-a-side as we usually do. And I'll never forget this day because it was a turning point for me. And then I was a hothead on a pitch arguing, trying to fight one guy, One of my boys pulled me to the side and said, what the fuck are you doing, bro? You're a father now. Remember that. You've got responsibilities now. The fuck are you doing? How do you know this guy ain't going to shank you? Or go to... And Lord behold, not on our pitch. The pitch on another pitch, there was another fight. One guy went to his car, got a shank. Not on my pitch. And that's what I'm saying, like, it's those kind of things where my guy took me to the side and said, bro, I'll never forget this.
That's a good friend.
Because I will never forget this. Because, since that day,
You've changed.
It settled me, bruv. And I have to think now before I act. Not saying I still don't have my anger tendencies.
You did, yo.
But I've found a way to sort of manage it and suppress it. And obviously, again, when my children are in the car when I'm driving, I can't be driving like I've got responsibilities in the car.
The point I was making previously is that I think because to have a kid, you don't need a license, you don't need a qualification. You just need to stick your willy somewhere warm and let nature do its thing. But it's just some people, man, some parents I see, I'm like, yes, you might have planned for the kid, but now it's here. But the way I shouldn't say this but when I see like pregnant women smoking cigarettes, bro.
Yeah, that
one, I want to take a shotgun and maybe shoot them in the head and then bring out the bait. I don't know, but it's just certain things like that. It's like, what foundation are you? Again, I'm not one to judge. I don't have kids. I'm not a pregnant woman. I don't know if cigarettes. I'm not trying to cause no arguments in the comment section, but it's just certain things I see are like you're addicted to a substance. I've always said it. If I smoke weed now here and there, if I have a child, I can't. I maybe will do an edible and go and sleep, but I don't want you to smell or perceive certain. It's going to change me. I'm going to have to change myself for that child.
You're going to adapt.
Right.
You're going to have to adapt. Because change is never is permanent. When people say, I'm going to change. No, you're not going to change. Because you're going to change for 5 minutes, but your real self is always going to uproot itself again in about 10 minutes. It's just, I'm sorry, it's the facts of life. No one ever changes. You adapt to your environment or to the circumstances of your environment. So when I'm at now, if you have children, like let's say you're living in a 1-bedroom house, you're gonna adapt your house. Not like, you know what I mean? Because you're still probably gonna want to do what you still do in your household, but you need to do it in a different way. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You're not gonna adapt the whole thing, like change your whole life for a child. Oh, you can't. You just adapt it. When people say, I'm gonna change everything, and I'm never gonna do it. How long is that gonna last? How long is it gonna last? Because you're still gonna have the tendencies to want to do smoke weed when you're in a certain different environment.
When I'm with the ganja boys.
That's what I'm trying to say. So did you change?
No.
You're just not doing it in this regular environment. You're doing it in another environment where you're with different people. So that's what I'm saying. You never change. You just adapt. You're still gonna do your edibles. You're still gonna drink alcohol.
Do you think everyone should have kids?
I'm not the one. I can't. That you want to put me in trouble, Avi. You want to put me in trouble.
Let's get cancelled on our second episode. I'm joking. I
can't answer that. Each to their own.
To me, it's just the weight. Like as an adult now, seeing how my mental health, not even mental health, so that's too big of a term. Yeah. How I am shaped, who I am, is literally a reflection.
Do you know yourself now?
I will never know myself because I think I have so many selves. There's so many of me. I can't know them all. I'm knowing a few as I'm getting older, and I'm dropping a few, and I'm meeting a few new things, but I don't think I could sit there and be like, I know myself. I can never fully know myself. Also, based on my character and the type of person I am, I think I evolve a lot, very quick. I work as a project manager, but now I visualize being a full-time content creator one day, even though I went to uni to study journalism, even though I never wanted to do journalism because I wanted to be a professional rugby player. But then before I was a rugby player, I wanted to be a pastor. Before I wanted to be a pastor, I was watching porn and I wanted to be a porn star because all you do is smash. Bruv, how could I know myself, bruv? How many selves, we evolve. I think we as humans, we evolve, we change. I know my core foundations. I know my core values. And I'm learning that as I mature into myself, not with age, into myself. I want solid friendships. As you said, you have your base of people who I want that. I have a few of that. Cool. I want honest relationships. I used to like sleeping around 3 years ago. Now I'm celibate 80% of the time. If you told me back in the day, bro, I used to keep I had my KPIs for the year. Like this year, I want to smash 20. Now I could go 2 years. I won't smash one. I can never visualize that. To me, I just visualize, go gym, have a nice body, get rich and just keep shagging women until I die. I can't do that now, bro. So how could I say I know myself? Do you know what I mean? I don't really understand the concept of marriage. I don't really agree with marriage now. You never know. In 5 years' time, you might see me married. Do you know what I mean? So I think, do you know yourself?
Do I know myself?
Or yourselves?
I know myself.
Is there just one Manny?
Depending on the environment. But ultimately, yeah. I adapt to my environment.
So if
but I'm still gonna be me. Because the reason why I say I know myself, I would assume that a lot of my friends, if they were to describe me, it will be the same. You will probably use almost the same language.
Forget the friends. You and your mirror. Just you and your mirror. How many selves are there? Remember, this mirror has been the same mirror for 10 years, but you've changed over that 10-year period.
Yeah, I've evolved.
Yeah.
It's just me. I think I have one. I'm just true to myself. Like you mentioned, I have my core principles, values, that I don't shy away from. I don't. And I try to be as transparent as possible, not just only to myself, but to other people, to know that, like I said to you like last time, if I don't have any interest in nothing, I ain't doing it.
I'm only just learning that now, like even with my job and with certain dynamics and certain situationships and relationships and friendships, I'm only learning, maybe because you're more advanced than me in life, but I'm only learning to do the stuff I like and be around people I like, because that gives me more life. Whereby previously, everyone's going to this event, let me go, or everyone's calling, not saying their Nigerian name, your name is Ademola, but you're saying D. I'm not saying I did that, but society, I've to a certain degree followed society to a certain degree, not fully because I was never accepted by this society anyways, but I think you seem to be, I don't know if that childhood trauma forced you to be self-aware.
Probably.
Right.
I can't say for sure. Probably did. I think it made me grow up faster, to be fair. I had to grow up faster, especially after I moved out. And
you moved out at 20?
I moved out at 20 and I was very determined I would never move back home.
Very young.
And I didn't.
Very young.
So you can arguably be like, I've been living independently now for 16 years.
A 20-year-old to me is, you're still physically, you're mentally...
You're still developing. What do you know?
Yeah, you're like 17.
I mean, there's a lot of people that people left home quite early, but I didn't get thrown out.
You chose.
So let's be honest. I chose.
Where did you go?
Obviously I started at uni.
At 20?
So I was at university. So obviously the first year you stay on campus. And after that I said, I'm not going back.
So when you finished uni, you got a job, you made it work?
I made a job. I was doing cutting hair and stuff. I was cutting hair. Went from one job to another, retail. Obviously while still at uni. I was doing whatever I could to live.
Was it the pain from living at home that fueled you to find a way to make it work?
Yes. And because the determination of saying I'm not going back to that space again.
Because the space was so toxic for you?
Yes.
Right. Oh, wow.
For me, yes.
So the other siblings in the same house didn't have the same...
Not at that time, because remember, I'm the eldest at 20. Remember, I was telling you, at 20, and everybody experiences is different, let's be honest. So at 20, what I'm experiencing, they're not experiencing it. So whatever I've experienced throughout that 20 years or whatever, they haven't experienced half of it yet. So my experience was different. So at that particular time, because I'll tell you this, there was a time where I was at uni and then my parents were traveling to go to, I think, America. And they asked me to come back home to stay with the kids. Like, I say kids, but my younger brother, from 2021, the one after me, he's like, he would have been 18. And I think, I can't do the maths right now. But anyways, the one after me is 18. At that time. So he would have been old enough to look after the rest, the younger ones, right? There's 5 of us. But and I was like, I ain't going back home. And that was the first time I rebelled.
In 20 years?
That was the first time I stuck to my own guns, put my foot down, and said to myself, I'm not going back.
How did that make you feel?
At that time, I was stuck to my own ways. It didn't end well. I'll tell you that. It didn't end well because they were shy. You didn't come home. You didn't come back to look after your brother.
They guilt trip you as well?
No, they couldn't guilt trip me. I was just determined. I was like, not determined, but I said to myself, I'm not going back. And it wasn't because of my brothers. And that's the maddest thing about it. And I think nobody's ever understood, and this is what I'm saying, because nobody's ever sat down to ask me the questions before. I'm only just saying it now to be like, so why didn't you go back home that day? Because the environment was toxic for me and I couldn't hack it. I had to protect my own mental health. And that's why I didn't go back. Not because I was out partying at uni. It wasn't because of that. It was because if I had gone back, I'm sort of going back into an environment that I knew it wasn't good for me. It wasn't conducive for me. So why put yourself back in there?
If you could look at that 20-year-old guy now, that 20-year-old Manny, what does he look like? Is he confused? Is he angry? Is he liberated?
Angry.
At the world or just his parents? Or himself?
Definitely not the world, not himself. I would say the parent. So the anomaly is the parent.
Right.
And the lack of experience that he had. And I just felt like I wasn't ready for the world. Like you say, when you're at home, it's like they nurturing you ready for the rest of the world for when you now leave the nest, right? That's what, when you live at home, that's what it's supposed to be for. But I didn't have all the tools.
So how did you survive? At your 20, how did you learn how to cook, how to fend for yourself?
Luckily for me, I already knew how to cook. I would believe I had a good enough head on my head to be able to determine what was wrong from right. 20. Because, bro, I've never been arrested. I don't smoke weed. I've never smoked weed.
All right, mate. No need to...
No. No, I'm just trying to... You're asking me a question, innit? So I'm just trying... This guy. So I've always, I think, known, let's say, right from wrong. Even though I was an angry person and always fighting, it wasn't to the point where I was like, I was getting into gangs and doing the wrong and doing it. No. I think so I'd always known, let's say, right from wrong in a way. So I had that. So in order to survive in the wilderness, as they call it, it was just, it's like, you know, when you're trying to prove somebody wrong. And I think that's partially what it was. That I could do this. I don't need to rely on you. I'll do this regardless. But doesn't mean I'm going to do whatever and everything else. No. I'm going to do what it takes within my means in the right way to survive. And I did.
To make this work.
And I was good at what I did. Like I said, I don't do stuff that I know I'm not good at. And you know, I was working in a barbershop for a long time. I was one of the best barbers in that shop. I learned my trade. I even evolved in the barbering business. I evolved in that. I was doing retail work at the same time. I was determined. I was getting promoted at retail, working for like River Island at the time. Then I went to shoe. Bruv, I just did whatever.
You made it work.
And that's what's got me here till today.
You know, that grit and that determination and that intestinal fortitude, that strength from your gut. You know, you can't replicate that. You can't teach that. You can't read that in a course. What you've had to do, parent yourself, yeah? Feed yourself, bathe yourself, clothe yourself, hug yourself, kiss yourself. Like, what you've gone through has made you more advanced than...
I know,
not even the general public, because it might sound harsh, than those who got the
hugging and
the hugging, love you, because that's the yin and yang. Because I'm thinking about, I don't want to say it, fuck it, I'll say it. Some of my cousins who are from upper echelon, they're from gold spoon, diamond spoon. I could knock them out if
spoon fed, basic.
Spoon fed. I look at them like you're glass.
Soft.
Not even soft.
You're fragile.
You're glass. Okay. If the right condition in life hits you, I think you shatter.
Right.
I'm not saying they needed to see the dead bodies I've seen, or they needed to but I'm just thinking like that tough love, it's given us an extra layer of leather, not skin, leather, that the soft ones don't have. So I'm not saying it's a good thing to have childhood trauma, because I don't wish that upon anyone. But
yeah,
how do you then, as a father, as a parent, create an environment where your kids could develop this leather as well, where they could develop this toughness to a certain degree, or you don't want them to experience what you've experienced?
No, definitely not. I don't think any parent.
Because life is hard. There's going to be challenges. They're going to have to deal with losses and all these kind of things. How do you prep them?
That's where you know you need to teach them that there's always a buffer. Like, when life gets too tough, I'm here.
Well, how about when you're not here?
Okay, then you prep them, and that's what I'm saying. You would. It's all in life when it comes to parenting. You can never get it right.
You will never get it right. There's no manual. There's no
manual.
Yep.
It's each to their own, and there's no one book fits all, one shoe fits all, and every child is definitely different, has their own trials and tribulations, right? So it's all about knowing your child, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and then feed on both. Because you can't focus on one and not the other. You can't focus so much on their strength and you're dismissing the weaknesses, because then when that happens, like you just asked, how did they deal with that? So it's just honestly speaking, I don't know right now. I don't know what the answer is. I can only do my best and then keep going, and hoping, God willing, when that time comes, I do have the answers.
The only thing I visualize is I want to simulate suffering for some of them. I want to say simulate.
What's your interpretation of suffering?
Suffering is slight discomfort. So, for example, if they're used to, it's always with a boy as well. I don't want to say I want to beat the shit out of him, but I just visualize, like, let's say, I don't know, I'm used to giving him £10 a week for his allowance or whatever.
Yeah.
For this month, I'm teaching you something about survival. I don't hate you, but I want you to struggle this month. I want to see how you're going to get yourself out of it. Are you entrepreneurial enough? Are you going to start? There was a time in school, I'm not going to take credit for it because my boys were doing it, so I did it as well. I started selling donuts. So we go to the shop, you get a pack of 5 donuts for, I think, £1 each, and then we'll go to the playground and sell one donut for 50p. I earned a little bit, I didn't earn money, but it gave me this feeling of, I could actually earn money. Then sixth form finished, and then I went to uni with my cousin was in uni as well, and we started selling headphones on eBay. Right. Fake headphones from China. I don't mind. But from the money I made from selling those fake headphones, I bought my first car on eBay as well. No, it's only, of course, it was like 900 quid. But still, it was pure eBay profit. I used to buy that car. But again, if I had a parent just giving me all this money, and I don't know, I just see some of these spoiled kids. Like, as I said on the first episode, I had Adidas. I did have Adidas. I appreciate Adidas more now. I don't have anything Adidas, but I appreciate the value of things. So not necessarily simulating suffering, but just pulling away some of their comforts, like pulling away some of I want you to have all you need. I want my child to know how to swim, know how to ride a bicycle, know how to do gymnastics, know XYZ. But also 1 week we're going, no internet. Let me see if you're going to crumble. 1 week we're going to eat just home-cooked meals, or you cook the meals, no matter how bad I don't know. Just, I want you to be well-rounded, but also...
But can you not teach that without making it seem as if you're making them suffer?
I don't want to make them suffer. I want to explain to them, say, this is life. There's going to be a day where daddy might not...
Yeah, but can you not do that without making it sound or seem as if it's a bad thing?
How?
Exactly. So, because you want to teach that there's a positive, it's all about positive reinforcement.
Right.
With children, if you're making it seem like, because I had it hard, you too must have it hard.
That's not my point. Point. I don't want to regurgitate my pains onto them and go, look at this dead body. I saw it when I was 7. No. I want to prepare you for life. There might be a time where you lose your job. Yeah, you're used to living in this penthouse that's costing you $4,000 a month. Now you've lost your job. What are you going to do? You're used to this lifestyle. I want you to be able to swim in clean water, and to also be able to be comfortable walking in mud, to be able to walk with Gucci shoes, but also walk barefoot. It's just that. I just want you to be from. I don't want you to look at homeless people and be like, how did you get there? Oh my God, you're so lazy. Oh my God. Like that could be
you.
I hope it won't be.
No, I'm just saying.
But there was this story from this homeless guy, lost his job in Scotland. Real life shit, bro. This is not no fake. Lost his job in Scotland, got kicked out of his house, came to London to look for a job, couldn't get a train ticket back to, now he's stuck. He's got nothing. I'm like, it's not like you're a heroin addict or you didn't choose. Like, life happens, bro. So I just want you to...
No, 100%.
Yeah. A lot of Africans they give birth to their kids in this country and then take them to Nigeria I don't really believe in that, because that's a whole different continent. I want you to be aware of the yin and yang of where you are under this roof. Let's cut off the internet for tonight. Let's all sit and have a chat. Oh my God, I can't play online with my friends. Okay, just don't worry.
I just think it's all about education and your household. Because, so one thing I've always said, right, with my children is when they do grow up, I don't care who they get married to, where they live or whatever. I'm hoping they live not too far from me. However, I don't care what you do.
What do you mean, what you do?
Job-wise, you got kids, what your responsibilities are. We are going to make sure we at least once a month have a family meal, sit down together. I don't give a fuck what you do. There's not going to be no excuse.
What if your child now got to get a job in New York and they can't do once a month?
That's fine. But saying that, we must be in communication at least every other day.
Okay.
There's no, I'm busy. So again, how do you get that? It's all about how you've built your relationship with your children from the beginning to when they leave the nest, from when they're young. Like I said earlier, you're a parent and then you become their friend. If somebody's your friend, are you not in contact with them every day?
Every other day, at least.
Every other day, at least. They're on your mind. You contact them for advice, wherever it may be.
Or just bands, memes, just chit-chat.
Chit-chat, catch up, whatever. And that's what I'm trying to say.
So you start that now then?
Not yet.
Okay.
Because they're not at that age yet.
But you have that friendship with them?
We still have a bit of a friendship banter, yep. But they're not at that age yet to be like, we're friends now. I'm your parent, you're my child.
Right.
Let's get that right first.
Right.
Until you get to that age and you're able to understand and differentiate the difference and still know the boundaries without me having to reinforce it and remind you about it, then we'll see how it goes.
What positive memories do you remember from your childhood, apart from this anger and resentment? What positives do you actually recollect? Has to be some, mate.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't all bad. It wasn't all bad, but
you've erased it?
No, but you know when so much bad
doesn't seem to be at the forefront.
No, it's not, because you still get reminded of how shit you are
till today.
Yeah. So when they say there's so much shit, you know when they said when there's that saying that you're just papering over the cracks. It's like you just feel like you had such a shit. You feel, not saying that you did. You feel like you've had such a shit childhood to the point where it's overriding any good that could have been done. Even till like, okay, like now, I'm not gonna lie to you. My phone could ring now and I see mum. I'll have anxiety.
Is it that you don't want to have this conversation? Because I could understand.
No,
okay.
It's not because I don't want to have the conversation. It's because I know what's coming. Criticism.
So she could never change.
About what? What do you mean? Like,
even if she's heard this podcast.
Bro, I've never done right by my parents' eyes. And I know this. No, bro, there is nothing I can do right in my parents' eyes. And I know that, and I'm content with that.
You're not content. No one can be content with that. You've accepted, but I won't say you're content.
No, I'm content with it.
How could you be content knowing you...
I can't change it. So what do you want me to do? Be angry?
Not be angry, but I don't know.
Bro, if you can't accept and be content with something, you're always going to live. You're going to live your life the way it was. I can't live my life like that. I've got a family to think of, bro. And that's how I've recalibrated my head to be like, I can't change that. You can't change people. People are who they are. I can't change them. Even if they watch this, are they still going to accept it? It's going to be a case of call you on the phone. What do you mean I did this? What do you mean? I'm telling you because I know them. My phone rings, see mom on the phone. Oh God, what is it now? What have I done now? That's what is going through my mind and my head.
Have you considered therapy?
What, for that? With who? With them?
Not with them, on your own. What's the point?
What's the therapy? I'm not disrespect.
Because you work in the mental health field.
What's a therapist going to tell me today that I don't know or haven't lived or I haven't processed?
I just want you to have a healthier relationship with seeing your mum call. I don't want you to get anxiety.
That's never going to happen.
Because imagine you're already anxious over some other stuff.
But that's not going to come from me though.
But the anxiety comes from you though.
Yes. Off the basis of what?
The relationship from your mum.
Okay. So who needs to change, me or her?
Both. Because she's causing the anxiety, you're receiving the anxiety. So I want her to cause... Hang on. Okay. I want her to cause... At the moment, she's caused... Her name triggers anxiety, yeah?
Yes.
She calls you, the anxiety flows from her to you.
Yes.
I want her to call you and try to give you anxiety, but there's a different relationship with that name and that face and that voice whereby you see her different. You see her almost with pity, like, I wish, rather than... what have I done now? What are you calling me for? What's the issue? Because my relationship, my relationship with women. There's no woman who's ever
touched your heart.
There's one, but even no one gets in. No one gets in. You see the door, you see the gate, you might be in the lobby, but no one gets in. Like into my heart. You could get my body, but you don't get my heart. No one gets my heart, as disgusting as that sounds. And that comes from self-preservation. And that also comes from my childhood. I never felt fully seen and fully, maybe not childhood actually. No, not childhood. That came from my experience and my dating relationships. My first ever girlfriend, and my second ever girlfriend cheated on me. I think she cheated on me. There's no way this thing has appeared.
Okay.
I've never cheated on you. Why am I anyway? Yeah, why are you infected me? When you chlamydia tiwa, you crying saying, it's just me, but where has this STD come from? Cool. I've never really got female love from school, so now all of a sudden I'm quote unquote grown, and you're giving me this attention. I'm looking at you like, what do you want? The same girls who didn't text me years ago, the same, hey, long time, it'll be nice to catch up. Catch what up?
Yeah, butterfly.
Fuck your butterfly. So there's always been that inner insecure child.
Yeah.
That's why no one gets in. And even when I do try to open slight door, I'm testing you, I'm watching you. I don't know what my point is, but I just want you to have a different relationship with that anxiety. If I want love, and if I want a child, and if I want to be in a healthy relationship for my children, I can't have a partner who's not in me. Because then eventually, it's only when my boy Nick pulled me up, bro, that's when I realized, oh shit, maybe I do have a problem. I was with my ex. I've only ever had 2 girlfriends. One for 3 years, one for 4 years. The one for 4 years, she was gold to me. This girl treated me, bruv, gold. She set the standard now, right? Well, she's always set the standard. The treatment she gave me, I use that as a metric, which is not healthy. But anyways, the point is, there was one day I was with my boy and she called me and I was like, yeah, what do you want? Yeah, I'm with Nick. Text me. And he was like, you talk to your partner like that? I was like, yeah, she knows not to call me. I said, what do you mean she knows not to call you? She can't call you on the phone. I was like, why is she calling? No one calls. I don't speak to women on the phone. He goes, you know that's not normal, right? I said, she don't complain. He goes, yeah, she's scared to complain because you might flip. I said, no, but I don't. That's when I realized, hang on, I set barriers with my relationships and you can't cross it. If you try to cross it, you leave or I leave. And if a woman loves you and likes you and she knows, okay, if I cook Manny this, or if I do this to Manny, he will leave, then you've conditioned them. So I've subconsciously conditioned almost every...
So where does that come from?
Insecurity for sure, but also fear and anxiousness and anxiety from being rejected. Hence
From when?
From my first girlfriend, a second girlfriend, whichever one that made me feel that certain type of way, who cheated on me. And I was like,
That didn't come from that.
Probably came from me then.
It's come from you, from your childhood experiences, I'm telling you.
It's probably, you're probably right.
Learned because you see, sometimes we see stuff.
Right.
And the brain processes it in a different way, but we don't know what the brain is keeping. And indirectly, sometimes our behavior is like, it's transparent in our behavior, like what you've seen, or if you get what I'm trying to say. So the reason why I'm saying is, I kept asking, trying to dig, where do you think that came from? Because you're saying, oh, probably your second girlfriend or your first girlfriend. It's not.
Right.
It's what you've experienced as a child, indirectly, but you just don't know it yet.
I don't know it yet.
Because you can't just be like, automatically, my first girlfriend made me start being guarded and setting barriers. No, you became, like, externally, like your external factors in terms of what you said earlier about seeing what you saw as a child is made you to the point where you're not allowing anything to affect you. So indirectly, you are protecting yourself from getting hurt from your childhood, because nothing can affect you anymore. You see all this there, but you're like, now you become just a, how? Who taught you that? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, who taught, from a child, you was not exposed, but you came across all these sort of different entities as a child, and you learned how to deal with it and be like, oh yeah, you normalized it.
Right.
Yeah? You normalize, and indirectly you're like, yeah, it doesn't affect me anymore.
Even though it does.
It does. And then through that, into your adulthood, it's now shifted to, you can't hurt me anymore. Because after your first girlfriend cheated on you, like, now, because it's different forms, but it's still the same thing. Because it became from get affected by this. Now it's, I'm not going to allow you to affect me, or allow this to affect me, So therefore, your external exterior, it's so strong, like the barriers are like, it's just bad. If anything now, just bounces.
Impenetrable, bro. Impenetrable. And it's sad.
In my opinion, from what you've told me, it's from them. Like, it's just, again, evolving into different forms.
Right. You've shot me, but we missed the point.
Sure, sorry.
Of the point of, I would love for your mom to call you and for you not to feel anxiety.
I would love for that to happen, but it's not going to happen. And
why do you have
I don't
mindset of it's not?
Time. You see, there's a time for everything, and unfortunately, I feel like the time has passed for that.
But you're alive and she's alive, so how could the time pass?
Because, like I said, people don't change.
She doesn't have to change. Your perspective could change.
My perspective is never going to change because that's who she is and that's who I know her to be.
Do you want it to change?
Till today, it's not going to change.
I know it's not.
The thing is, I'm not going to set myself up to fail because there's me wanting something, like it actually happening, I'm setting myself up to fail.
But the work is only done from your eyes. So she's who she is. She can never change. We could both agree on that.
I can only do work to make myself feel better about it.
That's all I'm talking about.
But that part of it's never going to change.
It's never going to change. But again, I want her to call you and you look at her from...
That's not going to change.
Right.
Because that part of my life hasn't changed.
But that's the past. We're on about the future.
Bro, in order to move forward, you need to go and revisit the past and sort that out first. In order to move forward, you need to deal with your past. And a lot of people cannot move forward until they've dealt with their past.
Same as me and women and relationships. Like, I'm learning.
That's why, if you realize a lot of women, when they break up with men without no explanation, they need to know why. Because they need some form of closure in order to move forward and not repeat what happened in the past. If that's not happening, they can't move forward because in their back of their mind is, I did something, but I don't know. So how do I know I'm not going to repeat that? So in order for us, not for me to feel any more anxiety, we need to go back, way back, and understand what was going on.
But she's not capable of having this conversation.
No, because they're not capable of listening. Bro, the way you and I are speaking right now, like you're saying you could probably sit down and speak with your mom and have a conversation. I can't.
Not with my dad. I can't sit down and speak to my dad like this. I can't
have a conversation without judgment, without criticism. And that affects me a lot. Coming from them.
Isn't that sad though?
100%. Bro.
Can I ask you something? Mm-hmm. Imagine I was sitting where you're sitting.
Sure.
And I was telling you I can't have this conversation with my mom. What would you tell me? Would you tell me, you know what? It is what it is. Accept it. What would you say?
I would say, what have you tried? Obviously, I'll ask you, what have you tried?
Mm-hmm. I've tried to text, but she just criticizes. Maybe she has a identity issue. Maybe she's not capable of hearing the truth. But
and then I'll say, how are you feeling about it?
I feel bad. I feel sad. I feel like
And how would you like to feel about it?
I don't want to feel anxious when she calls me.
And how do you feel that you're going to do that?
I don't know.
There you go. Case closed.
Waka. You don't catch me. I can't even say nothing now, bro. But anxiety is a feeling I detest. I don't...
Remember what we said before, everybody has some level of anxiety and depression in them. I can't be like, I'm not... That's why, I'm please, people don't come at me because obviously I work in a mental health professional, but when people use all this anxiety and depression willy-nilly, it pisses me off without explanation. Because people use mental health as a way of getting their way, and it really gets to me. It really does. Because until you've really, really experienced what you're talking about, please don't. Just don't. Anyways, I have experienced it. I'm telling you, I'm just seeing a name on the phone and I'm getting palpitation. That's anxiety. Put that aside. I don't have any anxiety towards anything or anyone else. It's just that.
Do you ever visualize? That's not actually gone. Let me let you finish. No. That's rude of me.
No, I'm done.
Do you ever visualize the day when she's not here no more? Like, I visualize the day my parents aren't here.
It'll kill me.
How could it kill you if you're anxious when she's alive?
But that's nothing to do with the fact that I don't love my mom. Oof. No. That's nothing to do with the fact that I don't love my mom. That's nothing to do with the fact that I don't love my mom. But that's nothing to do with the fact that I don't love my mom. But that's nothing to do with the fact that I don't love my mom. But that's nothing to do with the fact that I don't love my mom. But that's nothing to do with the fact that I don't love my mom. But that's nothing to do with the fact that I don't love my mom. But that's nothing to do with the fact that I don't love my mom. But that's nothing to do with the fact that I don't love my mom. But that's nothing to do with the fact that I don't love my mom. But that's nothing to do with the fact that I don't love my mom. But that's nothing to do with the fact that I don't love my mom. But that's nothing to do with the fact that I don't love my mom. But that's nothing to do with the fact that I don't love my mom. But that's nothing to do with the fact that I don't love my mom. But that's nothing to do with the fact that I don't love my mom. But that's nothing to do with the fact that I don't love my That's different. I love my mom. She's don't. That's why I said. There's been so many things that's been done bad, and but she's done a lot for me. So I could never stop loving my mom for what she has done for me, that I hold dearly to my heart. And again, does she know that? Probably not.
And you tell her to give her flowers
in a controlled environment? Yes.
In a text or in a voice note where she can't take it out.
It won't land the same. See, so for me, because I'm all about emotions and feelings, and I can't do that over text or voice note. It's like, it doesn't hit the same.
So what's a controlled environment?
Where it is a non-judgmental environment.
What does that look like?
Where we have a conversation, you listen, and you hear what I'm saying, rather than
interrupt.
Not so much interrupt. So like it goes in one ear and goes out one ear, and you just stick to your own rights and beliefs and principles, rather than hear me. Because there's a difference between listening and hearing.
100%.
I can be like, I hear what you're like, I'm listening and but are you hearing me? Are you digesting what I'm saying? Is it hitting home? Are you feeling what I'm feeling? If we can have that, we'll get far. But I can't see that happening, unfortunately, because I have tried actually to have that kind of conversation, and my siblings have tried, and guess what happened? Oh, so you're saying, well, we didn't do this for you. So this one that we were doing before and go,
Who are her friends?
Who?
Who are your mum's friends? Are her friends of a similar...
She's drifted a lot from everyone.
All right. I'm just trying to see who else could...
She's pushed away everyone that can... So that my friend that I said he had a really good relationship with his mum. Her and my mum were really close friends before. They're no longer.
Funny thing is, your mum sounds just like my dad. They're islands. They're isolated.
Yeah. So right now, my mum has pushed away a lot of people, a lot of her good friends, and a lot of good people, which I still value to this day. So yeah. Because I've tried to, I remember I actually tried, come to think of it now. I did try, and I was like, I remember going to their house, sat them down, I actually said I wanted to talk to them. Right? And it was, okay, what do you want to talk about? I was like, do you remember when this thing happens? This is how I felt. Blah, blah, blah. You hear me? What do you mean? You don't know that all this time what we were doing, I did this for you. We do get...
Justification. Justifying, not hearing, not taking accountability, but justifying why.
This is what I'm saying. It's like, did you just hear anything I just said? And after that, I was just like, you know what?
Wait, are you out of patience and out of chances to give them, or they're so narrow-minded, it's almost pointless?
It's just like you're talking to somebody that's not willing to listen. It's basically you're speaking to a brick wall.
That's how I feel. With...
You know what I mean? It's like... Yeah. Imagine you're trying to speak to me every time and you're not getting anything from it. You're going to keep trying.
You're going to run out of patience eventually and just accept.
And you just accept that for who they are. And that's basically what I'm trying to say. You accept them for and you just realize that's who they are. They're never going to change. And it's unfortunate. And I say it's very unfortunate because my siblings feel the same. They can tolerate them.
How about if all siblings... I don't even know if all siblings...
We've tried that. Right. Check this, yeah. I'll give you another example. So there was something that happened with my brother after me. And then, because we know how our parents are, all our siblings got together to say, let's sort this out. Let's try and sort this out. And then later on, maybe we'll tell mum and dad. So we're trying to sort it out. We sat my brother down, and it's basically an intimation. And then it was like, so my brother's friend now went to my parents and said, this is what we did, But we got grilled for it.
When you say you got grilled, they took no accountability and they
we got grilled for it. Like, are you his parents? Why do you come and meet us first? Are you his parents to be telling you what you should or shouldn't be doing? Are you the one that's gonna do this and do this and do this? I was like, whoa. Wait, so now we can't talk to our own brother and try to educate and advise him and tell him the wrong and rights about life, or what you're doing is wrong?
Yeah, there's only so much I could take of that before I give up.
Do you see what I'm trying to say?
There's only so much.
Are you not going to tell me, like, let's say with your sister, you heard something, like, you'd be like, sis, come, let's have a conversation. And then your parents after, like, why did you come to me first? Are you a parent?
At what age are you telling me? If you,
do you know what I'm saying?
no, my joke, for parental, man. Yeah.
So now you can't speak to your sister and try to advise and be there for her?
Yeah.
It's not a case of you're being criticized for being there for your own sister. And that's what happened.
That's different.
Upon all of that, my mom has done a lot for me. Let's put it out there. She has. Amazingly, like, she's done so much for me. I'm grateful to her. Don't get me wrong. I'm always grateful to her. I love this woman. And that's what I always said from the beginning, because of the love and respect. I said this, the love and the respect I have for her. I've never spoken back to her. I've never shouted back at her. I don't feel like I could ever do wrong to her. If anything, out of all of us, I'm probably the only one that every time she talks, I'm like this.
But that's killing you, though.
Yes. Inside out. And that's what she doesn't know.
But do you think when you give her your truth, that honesty might break her down, but open her eyes? No?
I would hope so. But is she willing to actually listen? That's the question. And digest what I'm saying and actually listen to what I've been saying today, for example, what my life experience has been like. Because everyone's life experience is different. Let's be honest. Everyone's life is different. We might live in the same household, like you said before, your sister's experience was different to yours. Their perception of life is different. But the thing is, are you willing to listen to my version of life and accept it and actually try to digest it and find a way going forward so we can adapt? Because like I said, you're not going to change it. No. It's adapted. Because growing up, my parents never told me they love me. Until recently, my mom, one time I spoke to her, she's like, I love you. But do you know how weird that felt? I
remember the first time my dad hugged me, bro.
At least she was like, bro, it didn't feel natural. I was just like, why now, bro? I'm like 36, you're telling me you love me. Like, bro, come on, man.
They never made that really to them, man. But
I think my mindset has changed. I think that's what it is. And as I said to you, I'm content. I'm just like, it is what it is. Nothing is ever going to change. Let me live my life to the best of my abilities and my children's ability.
And that's the beautiful thing, yeah.
And I think that's where I'm at right now. And I love my siblings as well because they're there for me and they're there for my kids. And I've always wanted them to have a relationship with my kids because I want my kids to know their family. Like, I can go to other entities of stuff which I've told you off camera, but there's certain dynamics in my family with the kids and stuff like that, but I'm going to get into that, and that hurts me as well, which I've told you before, and that hurts me. Again,
I don't want you to live in pain. Same way you don't want to see me live in pain with certain relationships, like with my dad, for example.
Yeah.
I also don't have a solution to that. I also don't know if it just sounds so similar to your mum, whereby I don't visualize them having the mental capacity to fathom someone else's view.
Yeah.
If it's not their way, then you
it's
are
the
an
highway.
alien. It's not even highway. You're it's worse than the highway, you know. And I find it, I don't know.
There's been so much. There's been, like I said, she's done a lot for me as well. But I'm not gonna be like, because of all of the good, doesn't mean I still haven't experienced what I experienced, and still didn't have any childhood trauma, still don't feel anxiety up till today. That still exists. You can't erase that from life.
I feel anxiety, funny enough, sometimes with my dad, even though we see each other on a daily basis. Yeah.
Imagine when you was growing up in a household or whatever, and your dad comes home and you had the key on the door. How does that make you feel sometimes?
Run upstairs.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because you're like,
I don't want to see you. I don't want to
back now.
I don't want to see you. I generally just don't want to see you.
Can you imagine that? Think about that for a minute. Your dad comes home, you run away to your room.
That happens to me now.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? You know,
yeah.
Bro, I come through the door of my house, my children runs towards me.
Man, it's the opposite.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And do you know how much love that is? Yeah. And I love it. Come through the door, they head the door, Daddy. none of us ever did that to our parents, bro. It's you head the door or the car pulls up on the drive. Oh shit, mom and dad are back. You headed up. Okay, we're going upstairs now.
And they see it as, they're scared of me. They don't realize they're resenting you.
And a lot of children in our generation experience the same thing. I'm telling you that now.
But why don't parents have an interest? I guess life is hard. They're battling bills and this, that, and the other, and they've done their best.
Don't mean that you have to be a prick at all to your kids. Yeah, I'm sorry, but
I agree.
Your children are not the reasons for any external factors that are going on in life. Whatever goes on outside of that house, your children are not the reason. So why not come home and take it out on them? They're none the wiser.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? That okay, you had a hard day at work. Is it your children's fault? No, but you come home and take it out on them.
And you don't have the confidence to go up to your boss or whoever gave you the hard day.
And then you take it out on the kid. Yeah. And then, I mean, that's what I said before. There was times when I had to check myself. Because there are certain things that maybe I come home angry, whatever, and then the kids are like, I can't stop you. I'm like, okay, it's me.
We had to cut off on that episode because we're getting too deep and the battery died. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching this episode of the Chris and Manny podcast. Today we spoke about childhood trauma. If you've enjoyed this kind of content, please share it. Please like, subscribe, and just push this as much as you can. It helps us. It helps us create more of this. It helps the algorithm, and it just keeps us motivated to produce more content for you guys. But catch you guys on the next one. Manny,
peace out.
Manny, come see them. Let them see your face now. Let them see your face now.
Thank you, guys. We really appreciate it. But don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and comment below. Thank you.